Welcome to the deep dive. So, the idea here is you send us your reading material. It could be articles, studies, even novels. And we basically pull out the core insights for you.
Right. It's like getting straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You give us the source, and we kind of map out the essential stuff, show how it all fits together so you can get the gist without, reading every single word.
And today we're doing something a little different. We're diving into excerpts from a thriller, Frida McFadden's The Inmate, which one of you shared. Maybe you love suspense, maybe you're curious about how writers build that tension, or maybe you just, well, enjoy a really gripping story.
Uh-huh. So our goal here is to unpack those opening chapters. Look at the characters, the setting, those little clues and mysteries the author plants right at the start to hook you in.
Okay, so let's kick things off. The very beginning, it just throws you right in, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
You've got Brooke, the main character, walking into this maximum security prison, and bam, instant regret. She's immediately questioning her life choices.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that she chose this, right? It's a job. She's not an inmate, which is a huge contrast she feels right away.
Exactly. And those little details, like her worrying about her clothes on a hot day, trying not to stand out,
Yeah.
it immediately tells you she feels vulnerable there.
It does. It feels very real, very human, even in this, intense setting.
And her reason for taking the job,
Yeah.
it's not like some big career ambition. It's framed more as, well, necessity. Lack of other options near Raker, upstate New York.
So right away, you get a sense of her circumstances. It's not a choice made from a position of strength, maybe.
And even that first interaction, the guard at the gate, he seems just as tired and worn down as she feels. It really sets the tone for the whole place,
Bleak.
pretty much. Then you get this immediate contrast thinking about her life outside the prison. She's longing for maybe a partner, remembering her son Josh when he was younger and more enthusiastic.
Right, that longing for connection, for maybe a different life, is that hard against the reality of the prison job.
And then we meet Josh properly, her son. He's 10 now.
Oh.
And he seems much more reserved than the toddler she remembers. Time has passed. Things have maybe happened.
That dinner scene with Margie, the babysitter, is quite telling, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
On the surface, it's just, kid stuff. Picky eater, worries about the new school. But Margie points out he seems really nervous, more than usual for a new school.
And Brooke connects that instantly, internally, to past bullying. So that desire for a fresh start in Raker becomes even more significant. There's baggage there.
Definitely baggage, which makes his next question even heavier. He asks about meeting his father, now that they're living in Raker.
Oh, yeah. And Brooke's reaction, she freezes up, even thinks about lying. You can feel the weight of that secret.
Totally. That detail about him drawing pictures of a dad he's never met when he was little, it's quite heartbreaking, actually.
And her answer is so evasive, like, oh, he used to live here, and she knows, or worries, that Josh can tell she's not being straight with him. Big secret there.
Huge. So, switching back to the prison setting, her first interactions inside, we meet Mr. Henderson.
Ah, Mr. Henderson, the guy with the 1-2.
That's the one. Calls her Doc. And he makes these comments about someone named Dorothy, another staff member, hinting there's maybe some bad blood or office politics already.
And that guard, Benton, he seems a bit, I don't know, disapproving. So it's not just the inmates she has to navigate, it's the staff dynamics, too.
Precisely. But then comes this really intriguing internal thought from Brooke. She feels her job is safe. They need her. As long as one specific inmate, Shane Nelson, doesn't need medical help anytime soon.
Boom, foreshadowing alert.
Big time. It just hangs there. Who is Shane Nelson, and why is his needing medical care a potential problem for her? It immediately ramps up the suspense.
And then, bam, the story jumps. 11 years earlier.
Yeah, quite a shift. Suddenly we're seeing Brooke as a teenager, breaking rules, sneaking out to meet a boy. And guess who?
Has to be Shane, right?
It's Shane. So this isn't just some random inmate. They have a history. A significant one, it seems.
And the book contrasts her good girl image, straight A's, honor society, with her taking these risks for him. It suggests this relationship was really powerful, maybe pulled her off her usual path.
Definitely. She thinks of him as her first real boyfriend, but she also knows her parents didn't approve. Classic setup for teenage drama with potentially lasting consequences.
And then there's that scene where she's trying to get her friend Tim to come to a party at Shane's house. His mom's away. Chelsea and Brandon are mentioned too.
Right. Introducing more characters from that past timeline. Tim seems hesitant at first.
But she convinces him. They're all going to this overnight gathering at Shane's. You just know something important must have happened there with that group.
Absolutely. Okay, so flash forward again. Present day, Josh's first day at the new school.
He's still nervous, poor kid. And Brooke's thinking about him being born out of wedlock, hoping things will be better for him here in Raker.
But then that weird encounter at the school gates. This man assumes Josh is starting kindergarten.
Which Brooke doesn't correct. She lets him think Josh is younger. Why? It feels deliberate, like she's hiding something about Josh, or maybe herself.
Good question. And the man mentions her parents' accident, says he missed the funeral. So clearly he knows her from way back.
Yeah, but Brooke is kind of dismissive about her parents, suggests things weren't great there either. Another layer of family complexity.
And then the kicker. The man says he was there that night, 11 years ago. And he has scars to prove it.
Whoa. Okay, so he's connected to whatever traumatic thing happened back then. And he has physical scars from it. That's huge. Another massive question mark.
Definitely. Back inside the prison, we see Brooke fighting for a patient, Mr. Carpenter, who needs a special mattress. It shows her compassionate side, her advocacy.
But she runs straight into conflict with Dorothy, the senior colleague Mr. Henderson mentioned earlier.
Right. Dorothy just dismisses the medical need. It shows the bureaucracy, the potential for clashing personalities, maybe Dorothy being territorial or controlling.
And then Dorothy gets a call and tells Brooke to go see someone right over. The urgency feels ominous.
And you can probably guess who it is she needs to see.
It's Shane Nelson, isn't it?
It's Shane. End of chapter, classic cliffhanger. Leaves you hanging.
Okay, so let's quickly touch on the flashbacks again. That party at Shane's 11 years ago, Chelsea arrives, bringing this sort of dramatic, maybe chaotic energy.
And Tim shows up, along with another girl, Kayla. Kayla seems interested in Tim, but he apparently can't even remember her name. Typical teenage awkwardness, maybe.
Kayla confirms it's an overnight thing, and Tim didn't even own a bag. Seems a bit unprepared, or maybe just going with the flow, but it adds to the sense that things might get complicated.
Definitely. So back to the present. That moment Brooke sees Shane. The shock, the trauma resurfacing, it's palpable.
And he looks just as shocked to see her there working at the prison. It's clearly a massive, unwelcome surprise for both of them.
Yeah. And the guard, Hunt, who brings Shane in, his attitude towards Shane is really dismissive, underlining that power dynamic in the prison.
Then the medical exam itself. That physical closeness, bringing back the memory of his aftershave sandalwood, but now it's tied to something negative, something maybe terrifying for her. Scent memory is powerful stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then Shane apologizes, seems sorry. But Brooke just shuts him down, brings up her parents, how they disapproved of him.
And we learn why they disapproved so strongly. Her pregnancy. They saw Josh as a mistake, the child of a monster. Wow. That adds so much weight to everything.
It really does. It reframes their entire history. Okay, one more quick dip into the past flashback.
The party scene. Mrs. Nelson is definitely gone. Brandon's there, so yeah, alcohol's probably involved. And Shane's house sounds kind of run down, isolated, creates a mood.
Yeah, a sense of vulnerability for these teens. And there's this moment between teenage Brooke and Shane. Seems intimate, but then she feels uneasy, pulls back. Another hint that things were shifting that night.
Okay, present day again. Shane's getting his head wound checked. He's worried about asking for pain meds, afraid they'll just label him drug-seeking.
Shows you the reality for inmates, doesn't it? Even with a clear injury, there's this suspicion.
And then he asks her to wait, whispers it almost, wants to talk without the guard there. Super suspicious. What does he need to say privately?
Exactly. And then he drops the bombshell. I would never have hurt you. I loved you.
Which just makes Brooke furious, right? Because in her mind, her memory, it was him. She knew his body, his scent that night. She's convinced.
She is convinced. But the author adds that tiny seed of doubt. Brooke thinks, if it wasn't him, I have made a terrible mistake. Just enough to make you, the reader, wonder, could she be wrong?
Okay, wow. So wrapping up these initial threads, we've got Brooke, new job, new town, trying for a fresh start, but her past literally walks into her examination room in the form of Shane Nelson.
Yep. Plus all the complexity with her son Josh, the mystery around his father, the bad blood with her parents, presumably linked to Shane and that pregnancy.
And this massive unresolved trauma from that night 11 years ago involving Shane, Tim, Chelsea, Brandon, Kayla, and now this mysterious scarred man from the school.
It's a tangled web already. McFadden has expertly laid out multiple mysteries, conflicts, and potential dangers for Brooke right from the get-go. The tension is definitely high.
So the big takeaways here. Brooke's connection to this prison, and specifically to Shane, is way deeper and darker than just a new job. Her past isn't just catching up with her, it's confronting her head-on.
Absolutely. And the central mystery is what really happened that night. Who is the scarred man? Can Shane be trusted? Is Brooke's memory reliable? Those are the questions pulling you forward.
So for you listening, what's jumping out at you? What are your big questions at this point? Any predictions about Brooke and Shane? What about Josh's role in all this, or the scarred guy?
Yeah, lots to think about. These opening chapters really set the stage for what promises to be a very twisty ride.
Definitely. We've just scratched the surface here, really, pulling out these initial strands. If you're hooked and want to dive headfirst into the full story, see how it all unfolds, well, we've put the link to the audiobook right there in the description for you. It's a great way to experience it.
Absolutely. Highly recommend it if these initial glimpses have piqued your interest. There's clearly a lot more to uncover about Brooke's past and the choices she's facing now.
And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.